All right, 5 seconds. Hello, everyone, and welcome to basically Evocati edition of Answer the Call, because, yeah, that was the big stuff this week. Welcome back, Croncy. 2 weeks in a row. Good to have you here, since things have been a little bit wild for you. And my dog came for the show, as she always does as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Real star of the show.
The star Clover. I'm excited for this week. This to me, I just said it right before we started. I think this was the most, like, all the stuff that we're getting now is like the most impactful things for the whole year, probably. I know, like, Hathor's big, the worm coming in is big, but I feel like a day-to-day you're playing stuff, this engineering test is kind of monumental, game-changing, you know?
It's also just a combination of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
if it was just one of them, it would have been a big week, but, like, no. The fact that we got 2 big Evo tests.
Yeah, 2 big Evo tests, Nyx and engineering, the second week of the event, and a bunch of things being said about crafting, base building, and cosmetics is kind of not that many items, but everything is meaningful. So cool week there. But before we get into it, how's your week been and all that stuff?
Mike, I'm mad.
You're mad. Is there a Magic the Gathering thing that has happened?
Oh, you're so close. There's a new TCG that has come out everywhere except Australia this week, called Riftbound. It's a League of Legends based card game.
Oh, I gotta ask my friend about this.
I don't play League at all, but the game itself, of what I played, been really, really fun.
Okay.
It got delayed in Australia by a week, and so I've just been watching people online open all their packs and have fun with all the cards, and I've got to wait another week, and it's pissing me the fuck off.
Damn, that sucks.
That's my week.
I played my like IRL thing for the week was text from one of the captains of the hockey teams that I play on, and he goes, I need you on Tuesday and Thursday. And was like, okay. I have another game on Thursday. So it was like one game was at 7:45 and one game was at 9:15, but they are at 2 different rinks an hour apart from each other. So I was like, how am I going to do this? I was like, all right, I'm going to go to the first one. I'm going to play for 2 periods. Then I'm going to just take my skates off, leave all my equipment on, and drive to the other rink, because the later game, they had less people. So they really needed me. And we're up 4-1. I leave. That team wins. And I go and I play the other game. But I was literally playing hockey from like 7 p.m. until like I got home at like midnight, 1 a.m. So no matter what I do, I haven't been sleeping. So that came out the night of the engineering.
Yep.
So then I had to come home and play the engineering,
which was
test.
also a time-limited one. It ended up being up for a while, but I think it was only up for like 12 hours.
Yeah, the other thing was I had a Tuesday night game for a team that I don't play on, but they guilted me into playing. And that was the engineering test. So I was like, I am not supposed to be here. I need to be like working. And and I played the game, played the best game of my life, which was awesome. And then I had to come home and do the engineering test. So I did not get enough time in it. As I would have wanted, because I was exhausted. But yeah, I don't know, for like the exciting things, what do you want to get into first? Do we do the
I think we do the 2 tests first, and then we'll do I think last we'll do the Spectrum stuff.
Okay, pick your test.
So the engineering test was first in the week. That was the first one. So I think we'll just start there. So we've been waiting for this tech preview test since they announced that they were doing tech previews again, and it finally happened this week.
Literally since January.
And then it was a time limited test, and it ended up being up for I think about 12 hours or so.
Not long enough,
and definitely not long enough. I was able to get about 2.5 ish hours in it before I had to do some baby stuff. But I gotta say, other than bugginess, other than features that are missing, because the patch notes are public.
Yeah.
So if people want to have a look at those, you can, and you can see what was in it. and they mentioned the stuff that was like deliberately missing and stuff from it. But apart from that, I'm into it. I'm down.
What do you like? I don't know how one could be into this because it was missing so much. It's like I don't know if I'm even
that's the thing.
playing
Right?
it
You've
yet.
got to, you've got to kind of put it into the. You've got to try to figure out the context of it in the future, I guess. So it's like the stuff that I was into. I like the redesign of the UI. Once again, it had a lot of bugs. Like for example, trying to zoom into the UI so I could actually see stuff was a problem. But the UI itself was pretty cool. Relatively intuitive, with one exception, which was like, so for those who haven't heard someone talk about it or weren't in Evo, you have 3 like screen selections. One of them,
see if I can find it. They have it in this video.
I was going to say, because it was also in
same.
the old one. Yeah. So you have this like 3D view of the ship and where all the components are. You can select, like you can basically filter through, I want to see components, I want to see connections, I want to see doors, right?
All that's
Those,
right
like,
here
options.
on the left side.
Yep. You've got this section, which is your power. And then the third one was like,
there are as many pips that you see here. I know like a lot of ships before this didn't have that many pips. Lots of ships have this many pips now, like the multi-crew ones. So it's there's a lot going on there.
Presumably will mean a lot more customization for the engineer in how they want to operate the ship, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to see.
And then the third section was for saving your settings of whatever, like your what are your modes or whatever.
That is in here. I just don't know where the presets.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
The top right, you have all your notifications. The notifications were like pretty decent. They will tell you if something's overheating, if something's been turned offline, something's critical, damaged, whatever. All that sort of stuff is pretty good. Though I would argue that maybe that needs to be a little bit bigger. Like getting a notification that something's on fire should be like don't put it in just the top right like corner where I can miss it. You know what I mean?
Or when I click on it, bring me to the appropriate screen to look at it and maybe vent the room or something, right?
Yeah, that'd be good as well. To be fair, it does also on the screen that you can see right now, if something is overheated or it's in critical or it's damaged, it will also show it in the like component section as well. Like this little section here as well. So maybe what I mentioned isn't super necessary. So all of that was pretty cool and worked fine. Well, worked fine. I think works in general for Star Citizen and how I would want the engineering like gameplay to work. The one problem I have with the map screen is, so I tested on a Carrack and on a C2. Those are the 2 main ships that I tested the engineering on. And on a Carrack, there is just way too much shit on that screen for you to care about.
Yeah. Lots of ships are like
if you are doing
so many things to click.
Too many doors. Ships have way too many doors.
Well, the cool thing is you can
filter it off.
That's the bottom section here.
But if you then need to use doors, there's too many doors. So you're going to end up like going through too many things. So like the component section was fine. The connection section was fine. But doors tend to be a problem.
Yeah.
So for the most part, the UI, I'm into. It was easy to tell what was going on.
Did you do any single seater stuff?
I did not know. Just the Carrack and the C2. That's
perfect. So I did mostly single seater stuff because I came home so late. None of my friends were on, so I was kind of by myself. And this is the screen that you use as a single seater. And for example, if this diligence went to 0, you would click a button here. There would be like a little timer, 30 seconds, I think, that comes up and it repairs it to 20% health. So it gives you just enough to limp out. And that goes for each item. The problem is if you are in combat, once you start taking damage, all the components just took way too much damage too quickly, and you're just kind of toast. So my biggest feedback was like, I thought our ships were going to be like, it was going to be more about like managing heat or managing the health and healing stuff, and we're just kind of still exploding a lot. And I was like, ooh, I wasn't expecting that. That wasn't fun. So this was a thing. I'm not sure what still don't know what this was here. Um, but yeah, lasers, ballistics, they all seem to pen just as much as each other. Because we didn't have armor. I mean, that's kind of the big piece of the puzzle that was missing. That I'm not sure if you pointed out, but you were like, some things were missing. The big one
they
was,
mentioned specifically on the patch notes.
Yeah, that no armor. So I just always questioned as playing this was, did you set the component health based on like the fact that there is armor and that just didn't make it in? And is that why it's snowball? Like I call it snowballing, where it's like, oh, I was taking a little bit of damage and I was able to manage it, and then all of a sudden it was like everything was off, and I was just like, wait, I thought I was doing okay. And more importantly, when certain things went off, your screens would go off, but your ship wasn't ready to die yet. And I could have healed these things, but my screens were off. That was a bug that they knew about, and you know, it'll be addressed, so it's whatever.
Just tech review stuff.
Yeah, feedback on something that I don't know how much you got into fire, but for me it was like it looks exactly like they showed it in the videos. It expands exactly like they showed it in Citizen Con. Like, nailed it. It was like they set expectations and the expectations were met. So that was very cool. I really like that. There was bugs, like I would hear fire and I couldn't see it or stuff.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. So I wanted to check that out as one of the things. So like what I did is I went into the Carrack, I turned off the coolers and then overheated the power plants, right?
Yep.
And just watched them. You can check their temperature rising on the component section and watch them go up and whatnot.
Yep.
And then I got a little fire alert. You know, there's a fire in the engine room. Seeing nothing. There was no visual, like it was just a bug. I had no visual effect for fire.
Yeah.
But places I like moved around, my temperature went up and all that sort of stuff. My guy did not put his hand up. No.
I saw other people's their hands went up, but this one I never had it either. I think you need the huge fire like this in order for that to happen.
Possibly, yeah. But so I grabbed the fire extinguisher.
Yes.
And the fire extinguisher was working too. I noticed that anything I pointed it at, it told me the temperature of the thing I'm pointing at, which great because that's going to give you a good idea of like where to spray the. I think they're CO2 fire extinguishers. And I used it in the engine room at the nothing fire because I couldn't see anything, but. Eventually, the temperature on the fire extinguisher started going down. My temperature started going down, and then the critical lights came off. I went back to the engineering panel and said the fire was off. So, with the exception of me not actually being able to see the fire because of a bug, it seemed to work.
Yeah. So a lot of people, I'm sure you do too, knows PC 101. He streams and does some YouTube stuff. He left a Carrack burning overnight. And because like the fire slowly moves, and on the really big ships, he left it burning overnight, and it built up overnight, like that far. So like as far as like, sure, it will destroy some components probably pretty quickly, but as far as like actually charring your ship, it like slowly trickled through it, and I thought that was very interesting aspect of it. So the reason why I bring that up is that I think a lot of people were most concerned about fire. Like, my ship's going to be on fire every 5 minutes. I'm going to have to go back there, and it's going to spread super fast. I don't know if that's the case. So, yeah. Like,
I think if anything,
this video's so old. This is what it looked like. It was they nailed it.
I think if anything, the big thing with fire is because it's going to be in the locations where you most need to repair stuff. It's more just a like. It's more just an activity that rather than it's going to set the whole ship on fire, it's like you personally cannot fix this thing or you'll die without getting rid of the fire first, right? Like it's a step-by-step process now rather than just go to thing and fix it and then run back to the terminal.
So we have 90s in Twitch chat going, no, what did you say that? No, it was Iron Awakening. No, should be able to vent oxygen out and get rid of the fire. Were you able to do that?
So kinda. I was able to not
working really.
Yeah, the venting wasn't working, but I was able to not start a fire in the C2 because it had 0 oxygen.
Okay.
It had no atmosphere. For whatever reason, I don't know why, the C2 just had no atmosphere. I did the exact same thing I did to the Carrack. I turned off the coolers, overloaded the power plants. The power plants got up to 2,000 degrees Celsius, which is insane. No fire. They did turn themselves off, so that it's not like, oh, sick, I just won't have fire if I if I vent the thing or whatever. No, the modules will stop working and they will damage.
Yeah.
You could see the health of the modules go down. But there was no fire spreading. So if you are able to get the venting to work, then yeah, it should theoretically get rid of the fire. But exactly like what they said, I imagine will work. If you re-put oxygen in there, fire's going to come back. Because it does seem to be governed by just temperature of the room, and temperature of modules in the room determines if there's a fire or not.
Yeah. Like, it was weird. I had moments where it worked. I had moments where it didn't. So it was kind of like inconsistent. And
yeah,
inconsistent are those are the hard bugs to figure out. But
yeah,
I don't know. I don't have a lot more on it, simply because it was like I said earlier, I think we just need another test. It's like, all right, like I felt like this test was like, does the heat travel from, like through the system? Are the coolers cooling? Like, instead of engineering playtest, I felt like this was does the new resource network work? And largely it does. I would say it just, yeah, it's the other stuff that was missing kind of made it a little bit weird. And I was like, I don't know if I'm actually experiencing engineering yet.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I didn't get a chance to test it like in combat, which is obviously when it's most relevant.
No, I was mostly
I was just trying to set fire to the ship as much as possible and see how it interacted.
I did go into combat with an NPC. Like I basically took out an MSR, took the lowest level bounty and just went to it, turned off my shields and sat there.
Yeah.
And I blew up. And I blew up really quickly. So it was like kind of messed up. Like, I went in the back and my turret caught on fire. I will say this, and I did not say this in Week in Review because I forgot, but I said it in like my initial video when I first talked about it, was the exterior stuff took damage first when getting attacked. Okay. So turrets died. The weapons systems died, and anything that was on the very exterior of the ship. So I imagine armor would be the next thing. And then the components inside started to die. So I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting, because that makes sense, right? Is it hits the exterior stuff and then goes to the interior stuff. So just pointing that part out. And again, it just that snowball experience of there's no way I can keep up with this, but in a single seater. Another thing in the single seater was power pips. Our understanding of Star Citizen power on live is shut the coolers off and put all the power into engines. I call it the big three: the engines, the shields, and your weapons. Right? Those are the things you need, and that's it. Because you didn't need life support either. Now in this playtest, now you need life support on and coolers. So you're losing all those extra pips that you would normally have. And I would ask, I would put this out to CIG, is like, I only had 15, 16, or 17 power pips based on, I used a competition, an industrial, and a military drive. So that wasn't enough to put a decent amount of power into any of those big three. So I was like, ooh, okay, is CIG's goal, like what are they trying to get me to do here? And I was like, are they trying to get us to manage the power pips more? Okay, I think I'm okay with that. But they also went away from that system years ago with master modes, because that's what we were doing with the power triangle. So that's where I'm like, I'm putting that out there. Like, what are your goals? What are you going for with this? And because I'm not sure on that one. So I was like, oh, okay. Like, that was just something I noticed as I was swapping power plants out, expecting to go to like a competition drive and have like 22 pips. And like, all right, I could put everything into stuff now. And I couldn't. it only went up by 1, and 1 is not a significant amount to boost that up. The other thing that I thought was like, are these just tier 1? And are these being set up for a crafting system where you can add more power pips? And is that your progression? So I don't know. It's lots of questions.
Missing so much stuff that it could be any of those things. Right?
Exactly.
Like we just don't know. It definitely was just hey, we're double making sure the tech works again.
Yeah.
Right. We're putting that back. We're making sure the UI works. And it's also the actual first time we've ever done fire propagation.
Yep.
So like making sure that works.
And that's why I said what I said, because it was just like, there's so, like you said, there's so many questions that it was like, I'm not sure how to give feedback on this because I'm not sure I'm playing anything that you're intending yet. I was just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The notes were very vague. Here's the thing, and I talked to a dev about this, was he was like, when I was like paying attention to what you were saying, all you did was talk about bugs. And it was like, it was very clear in the notes. They were like, just go play and tell us how your experience changed. Like they asked for, they were like very specific on how they wanted your feedback. And as a backer, I feel like an Evocati player as well, it's like, oh, they want to know what bugs are there. So you focus on that, and that's what you're like, okay, this is broken, that's broken, issue counsel for this, issue counsel for that. When in reality, what they were asking for was like, hey, did your experience change? Was it for the better? Was it for the worse? And I didn't approach the test in that way at all. And that was a mistake. So I'm looking forward to like the next test and approaching it like properly, I guess. So,
which hopefully the next test is not in months.
No, hopefully it's next week.
I would certainly hope we get
literally tomorrow. I'm hoping.
Yeah, it would be great.
Yeah, let's have a full week of testing on this stuff on both 4.4 and engineering. That would be nice. Although I don't know if they want to spread us out that thin. So hopefully it's like Monday engineering, Tuesday 4.4, and then leapfrog.
Good point, actually. Yeah.
So
like we'll get on 4.4 in a second, but because both of these are so big,
are they getting enough?
Like, you will
need?
split the tests if you have them both running at the same time. So
and a live event that people are trying to complete.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting. Yeah. Like I said, my first impression was like, cool. I can see this working. So yeah, we need the other things to actually see it work. I need to be able to do a combat with armor on my ships to see how that works. All the other balancing that should be happening around ships with this coming in happening, right? Like,
I hit the ground and
the
exploded.
idea that
I wasn't expecting that.
Love that.
No, I hate that. Hate that. That was like the thing I was hoping that went away.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like ships supposed to be like more survivable now, but then it's like, cool, now you need to balance other things and all that. Like there's a lot of stuff that goes into it eventually.
Yeah.
Probably after a tech preview is the problem, but armor is the big one. Armor is the big one that'll help.
Just making it clear, when I hit the ground, I was in like a soft death state. So I was like, the slow fall to the ground. I'm not talking about like I accidentally hit the ground flying and I didn't see it kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, want to go into 4.4.
Yeah, so then I think it was like literally the next day, right? Or maybe the day after that. The
engineering was Tuesday, 4.4 was Friday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's quite far apart, but we've been busy.
Yeah, true. Nyx, once again, in Evo. But the jump point to Nyx is there. They talked about how they were going to replace the one in Stanton. It just is the Magnus jump point.
Yep, which is very far away from the more popular areas.
Yeah, I did a double check today in live, and I was like, oh no, yeah, Magnus one is actually that far away. That's kind of funny.
I did a interstellar mission from Nyx to Stanton, and it was not just to Stanton; it was to ArcCorp, the farthest possible point from it was 95 gigameters.
Worth every penny.
It was not.
But yeah. So the jump points are there, and Levski is there. In addition to the Glacian Belt, which I want to start by talking about the Glacian Belt because holy crap,
it's the only thing I want to talk about. Yeah,
it's so cool. I was talking to people earlier about it today. So they've used the like gas cloud tech essentially that we've had for jump points and other points of interest and stuff, but to put one in the entirety of the Nyx system. So if we'll talk on Levski itself later, but if you start in Levski and you like quantum away, you can see the whole ring that goes around Nyx getting like further away from you and shrinking as you go away from it. And it's just so cool and so atmospheric. And I'm obsessed with this like I called it a macro location, right? Because it's not a planet or anything, but it's just this enormous thing, right? And then the stuff in it as well.
But just like I started outside of Nyx. I don't know if you spawned in it. And I jumped from Pyro to Nyx. And first off, the Pyro jump point didn't have a quantum marker. So I had to do some serious finagling because I was alone. Again, I was alone in that situation. And I had to go all the way down to the bottom left of the map because there was one point that clearly intersected with where the jump point was. If I flew from that point to Pyro 4. So I was like, all right, I need to go all the way down there, and then I need to set my marker so it crosses over the jump point, and then I know where to align my ship. And that's how I found the jump point. I was like, I felt so smart for once. And and then you go through the jump point. The jump point is a standard jump point, although in Stanton, it has a special label as if it is a transient jump point to basically let players know, like, this isn't going to be here forever. And I thought that was a really nice touch, very smart, and I'm glad they did that. And then you get through the jump point and you come right into this. I think it's 12. The Pyro one was 12 gigameters from Nyx, I think. Or maybe that one was a little further. And then the Stanton one was really close. I can't remember. One of them was close.
Yeah, so the Pyro one should be inside, like in between Delamar and the Sun, and I believe the Stanton one should be on the other side.
Okay, yeah, I don't remember where they were. But once you are able to quantum travel to Delamar itself, they did something interesting, and I think it works, is unlike the other places that you jump to, where you're like 25K out, you were 78K out. And it forces you to fly in the asteroid belt to get there. Yeah. And it was sick. Like, I didn't mind that at all. I don't know if I will in the future, but like the first few times I was like, yeah, I could totally do this. Like, it was what I was expecting. Even before ever seeing this stuff, it was like they nailed it again.
They did a really good job of making me think I was in a giant asteroid belt.
Yes.
Like that it wasn't just this small sliced off section. They make you feel like, and it probably is the case if you did it because of the way that they've done like the Iron Halo and stuff in the past. That if you fly that way 10 million kilometers, you'll still be in the asteroid belt, right?
Yep. I hope Iron's Halo starts looking like this. Just putting it that way.
That's the thing. Yeah. Like it's just so cool when you come in. It's very long, but not very tall. The asteroid belt itself, at least when you come into,
you kind of get the vibe here, where it's like
so
it almost looks like a highway.
Yeah, because you can fly above it. Is what I try. So you can come out of the asteroid belt and sort of have a view of it. But yeah, so super dope. Once again, with the belt itself, as you would expect in an asteroid belt, lots of asteroids, including minables, including new minables that I forget the name of. But there was a few
I wrote them down.
Oh, lovely.
Saurilium. It was 19,000 in value. So basically, before even knowing they were minables, I went to an admin panel and I saw all of them.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
And I was like, these are priced just like minables are priced. There was a high level one, a mid level one, and a low. Lindinium was the medium one, and Torite was the low level one. I looked these up on Google as it because are these based on
sometimes
real life?
They're real, sometimes they're fake.
These are not based in real life at all. Yeah. So yeah.
And I scanned and I did actually find Torite like immediately too.
Yep, same. It was all in that belt, quite abundant. It seemed like. So yeah.
Yep.
They did
Um,
not do the new rocks here, where they're only one material.
Mm.
I did see multiple materials in
Yeah.
the asteroids, so just keep that in
Yeah,
mind. Okay, so then we come into Delamar and Levski. I think I'll push us forward a little bit here for when they do that. Did you notice the mushrooms?
Yes.
Okay.
I did not have a backpack, so I couldn't check their name or their
I
description
did.
or anything.
I have their name and
Yeah.
description. So like here are the pads on the screen. Down below the pads, I saw some mushrooms, so I went over there. And they are called Miner's Horn. And they had a description, which I was surprised this early. And the description is, and apparently these are in other places in like Stanton and stuff. That's what somebody said in my YouTube comments. I was like, I've never seen these before, but okay. And maybe that's why they do have a description. Miner's Horn, and the description is, the mycelium of the mushroom is so strong it's used in structures. Base building materials, it sounds like. So
glue.
I was like, well, we have glue. There's a thing called Proto. That's glue. Yeah. This is like possibly for like the metal beams and stuff, maybe to make it like stronger, I think. I don't know.
Yeah, possibly.
But yeah. So kind of cool.
So yeah,
they're like down here.
Yeah.
If you're looking for them, that's where they would be.
They're also inside near the refinery as well.
Oh shit! Oh, can we talk about the refinery?
Well, let's talk about Levski as a whole first, and then we'll get to the
found it right there. Like that's exactly where it was when I looked. It's
Which,
just not
as
on
if
the
that
screen
door
here.
doesn't look like it's future content, right?
It doesn't open. Yeah, but it.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Looks, that looks like the sewers or whatever they're doing.
Yeah. Let's do Levski and Delamar as a whole. So obviously, like we saw at CitizenCon, it is no longer a dwarf planet. It is an actual asteroid when you come in.
With the borehole.
Obviously, the borehole looks dope. The station itself looks like a mega structure. It like it's big. People are working here, right? Like you get that vibe.
Remake hashtag remake Grimhex.
I mean, true, yeah.
Right.
So they did a really, really good job of that. Once again, I started playing just before they removed Delamar and Levski.
Yep.
So I did not get to experience much of it. But even the bits that I did experience, that sort of stuff is still there. So like the statue with old mates there. Even when you go up the top and you head into that outside area that Mike was just showing earlier, all of that design is still very much the same.
Mm-hmm.
It's just they've facelifted a lot of it. Yep. And then they've obviously added some bits and pieces here and there.
Big difference here is the elevator, actually.
Yes.
Can you see arriving in? Never noticed this in the live stream, but these are not elevators. These are trams.
Yeah, they're trains.
Yep. They're train evaders. So
my one complaint about them is they close too quickly.
Very quickly. Very quickly.
You have to run out.
Yep. So they just come and go, and you go up and down the levels right here, which aren't on in the video, are like screens that tell you what level you're on and what level the other things are, so you can kind of figure out your way. And yeah, so it's a tram, which I think they're going with that because the trams break less than the elevators, is my guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why
it's also probably because this is a major landing zone. And oh my god, is it a major landing zone? Like this has as much interior effort, if not more, than like Lorville, Microtech, all that stuff. Like it's big inside.
Yeah.
They probably just want it to be that. They know that like they don't want 30 people waiting for elevators either. They just want to,
just
churn people through.
Just exactly, churn away. Yeah, again, most of the inside was the same, like even the tunnels and stuff, they were there in the original. Recco Battaglia is still there in her exact same spot, looking out in onto the glass. You can go up to her. She turns around. She talks to you. You have prompts, but no missions. And what else did I list?
Which also, just because you brought up mission givers, I found another mission giver. Probably.
I was literally just looking at my notes for him. Yeah.
Yeah. So in the refinery section, I went.
Maybe not. I think I found a different one.
Probably. I would imagine there's quite a few there. But yeah, in the refinery section, which got me really excited because, hey, mining missions, let's go. there was a person that I could talk to. All I could say was goodbye. But they were, a unique model, and yeah, they were just hanging out in the
Sick.
refinery.
Okay.
Yep.
What was it? Was like a mining type person?
It looked like so you have the refinery that you will use, right?
Yeah.
And all that. And then there was like an admin office in the refinery, and they were
Okay, yeah.
in there with a couple of other people on a control panels, basically.
Okay. I found what I think is maybe the Bit Zero's boss. So there was a guy at like it was like a hacker station. And he had like all sorts of things there, and he was definitely a unique model. And I was like, oh, I think they want to do something else with this. So there's there's a bit going on there for the future, I think, with this place. Like a lot of people are like, why would I go to Nyx? Well, maybe there's reasons to, is what we're alluding to now, is like there might be some mission giver type stuff. Did you do that? Did you climb these? That was there. It was so weird. There's like this little.
No, I tried to jump onto them and it wouldn't let me. There was a couple
right
of spots.
You just go, what?
Oh no, not there. There was a different spot.
Yeah.
I think I did go through those ones because that's the one where the pub's at the top and then the shops are down the bottom, right? Yeah. No, there was a couple of places that felt like either, hey, I want to explore, and try to explore, but the game wouldn't let me. It was just invisible walls.
Oh,
and I don't know if it was deliberate or if it's so that was like a weird bummer. I did find where the entrance to the sewer thingy is, because it's not actually called the sewer.
Yeah.
It's called something else. That was there. But obviously blocked off. You can't get through yet. Quite a few places where NPCs were telling you to bugger off right in front of doors. Yep. One of which I saw an NPC behind them literally in the door.
Same.
The door's closed and they're doing this.
We were probably in the same spot at the same time.
Probably, yeah. So there is obviously, once again, Municipal Works. Thank you, Abe. Yeah, so we found the Municipal Works.
Yep.
Yeah, so there's clearly other locations that are probably partially built that are still locked away. But like all of these things, it really is a big major location. They did a really good job at making me think I was in a big city type thing.
Yep. And the hangars are asteroid themed hangars. It's I'm a little disappointed in the fact that they're not unique as much as like a pyro hangar was. I know the pyro hangars are like skinned versions of what we had before, but they are still
they're unique, but they're not. They could do more.
I don't know if you looked in the asteroid hangars when you first started playing, when we still had hangars that you can, like the hangar module, but the asteroid hangar was incredibly unique from the other ones. And I do hope to see that at some point. It's not something that's necessary. They don't need to work on it now kind of thing, but I was like, ooh, that would have been nice. Did you use the exterior freight elevators?
I did not, no, but I was going to mention, so you've got the large and the extra large hangars are out on, you can see on this screenshot here, they're actually out there to the right. So they're on the flat, so they're open from the top. The medium and small are in the borehole. And then in addition to that, you've also got
up or down and you could choose. Oh, it's sick.
And then in addition to that, there's also like 20 pads or something. It's some insane number. There's a crazy amount of landing pads. Yeah. So a lot of locations there. And then, on the other side of the borehole, you have the exterior freight elevator ones that we saw at SitCon.
Yes, and I'm trying to like find it. I think there it is. Got a lot to say about this because they haven't changed one bit. It is just like the exterior outpost ones where you could go up to it. They're completely free. There's no like I call and get the number 3 one for me, and then anybody who trespasses will get a shot at or something like that. They didn't do any of that. There's like a little like place that you can EVA up to. So I took an interstellar mission. It was like 64 SCU approximately. I'm just guessing here, but I decided let me do it with the hull C because I also wanted to check to see did they adjust the whole C problems that people have at all. And I could call the imaginary box and go into it. It auto-loaded half the cargo on, didn't auto-load the rest, and I just took half the cargo and went and did the interstellar mission. But the freight elevators themselves work just like freight elevators. I think they only come up at one level. Somebody in Twitch chat a couple days ago, because I mistakenly never looked at their capacity, said it was like 2,500, something like that, which is a lot. And, you know, that's half of a whole sea, right? And yeah, so they function, but they all have the same problems as these open things. Like anybody could just come up and use a tractor beam on your stuff. Like, so it's just like, oh, what are we doing with this? What are we doing here? I was just like, ooh, that is going to be a problem, especially early on, because people are just going to be trolling over there. And so that was a disappointment.
Especially when there's not really anywhere else to go, obviously. Like if you're in Nyx, you're at Levski most of the time. So
exactly. So yeah, I was just like, oof. But the mission itself worked. 2,560 SEU, Drivel says. So there you go. Big freight elevator. And yeah, I just did the mission. The mission worked. Like I went to Area 18 and called it.
The payout seemed pretty abysmal from when it popped up for my.
It was an entry level one though, so it's like, you know, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, fair. Yeah, it was only like 100 and something SEU that I saw. But it's also like, these are the kind of missions that I would hope you could stack a bunch of, right? So in EVE Online, if you're doing,
we did it. I didn't think we were going to do it today at all. There was no reason.
I just for the purpose of like, if you're doing courier missions or you're doing like deliveries or whatever, even other people's. A lot of the time, you might try to bundle them up together so that you're doing a couple at once, because you know you've got the cargo space for it, so you want to do that. And like, yeah, you want to do that here too, right? But most of the time, at the moment, there hasn't been central point A to central point B. It's usually like you go to all of these small locations instead. But if you're like Interstellar, I feel like is where you'll do that, where you might take like 4 or 5 missions maybe. Just put them all on and then move them across. Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense for sure.
Yeah.
And again, these were quite small. I'm looking for the Interstellar missions. I don't know where they ended up. I don't know the sitcom by heart like I do the other ones, because we've looked at them so many times. But yeah, they just genuinely worked and it was totally fine. But again, I think the ability to auto load and unload is just the inability to do it is taking away from what people typically want from cargo experiences. And I will say I did not get attacked by anyone on the way, but because NPCs,
you're not allowed to be anywhere. Oh, NPCs, sure.
And yeah, because they had spoken that like, yes, we coded in that there might be dangers on the way.
Right.
There were none. And again, the jump points were normal jump points. So that was that.
I will say, so the other like location stuff. So I did 2. I did one where I tried to jump Stanton to Nyx, then realized Nyx didn't have a quantum marker, reset my account, and then respawned at Levski. But when I did the jump from Stanton to Nyx, the jump point itself, I think had some visual bugs. It was just really, really bright. But then on the Nyx side of the Stanton to Nyx jump point, Nyx clearly is like every system seems to have a theme, right?
Yep.
Nyx is clearly really light, bright blue is sort of the idea. So the nebulas at the jump points have that, but then also the actual skybox of Nyx, which is really cool. So they've done a really good job at flavoring it. Obviously, Stanton, you've got that like sort of green, like, oh, you feel like sort of a little secure and all that sort of stuff. Pyro is just red. Oh God, we're all going to die. They do a really good job. It's like white-ish in the skybox for the most part. If you look around, it feels very neutral, feels very like, okay, like, I don't know if I'm supposed to worry or anything. And then of course you've got the little red spot, which is supposed to be the little space, which that needs to be bigger. It is so tiny on the skybox. It needs to be way bigger.
Yeah, I liked it. I didn't mind it too much. I like it being out there and just reminding you from a distance that they're there.
Yeah, so do I. But I just think it's too small. I I don't want it to take up like half the skybox, but I don't know. It just feels way too tiny for me. That it almost just feels like almost not noteworthy at all. Like that it's just kind of a random spot in the distance. But
Did you do any? Did you get to do any like Vandal missions? I didn't. I had all all the missions were literally copy paste for me. I know that there is a special mission somewhere that has like puzzles involved with it. What I think was probably happening is this feels a bit rushed. Like I feel like they're just trying to like get some things out by the end of the year type of thing, and I doubt there were enough locations for you to like have it available in your mobiGlass regularly, and people were probably picking it up and doing it, and I never got to see it. But yeah, there's some Vandal related things, but all my missions were kill generic NPC over here and pick up a generic thing over there. So yeah, it was just like I'm good.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to do any missions, but like I'm kind of just waiting for the next PTU because I know that they've got some extra stuff to put in.
Yep.
And I'm hoping, like, as cool as these locations are, and I'm very, very excited for them, where's the content?
Not there.
Not there yet. So where's the content?
Yeah. It is non-existent. And it was like, whoa. But part of me was like, do I need to keep expecting them to like blow my mind with something epic and new and all this stuff? Like you and I for sure were not expecting Rockbreaker to be here or the sewers to be like, they made it very clear that these things weren't going to be there. So I mostly was like, damn, there were no missions in my mobiGlass even from Recco Battaglia, right? Like you could have just put the name there and it would have been like, ooh, nice. So yeah, it just felt a little unpolished, and it's an Evo patch. Well, that's like, totally normal or whatever. But again, I don't think that's how Evo patches should exist. So people will just say, well, that's an Evo patch. Well, I believe the way that they've been doing Evo is incredibly problematic and not great, which is, when it gets to us in Evo, it should probably be largely everything is in there, and we're just there to make sure it works. Because you're done with feedback at that point, right? It's like they're just going with it now. So the feedback usually happens on live, and then they fix it in .1s, 2s, and later is their system now. So I don't know. I expected it to be more there. Same with the engineering one. Like we're expecting armor. We've been waiting 2 years for it. Or we've been waiting 10 years for armor, let's be honest. And, I was kind of hoping those things were there. So those were like the I can't wait for the next test. I wasn't like disappointed necessarily. I'm just like waiting for the next test. Hopefully those things are in, and then we'll dive in there. But
yeah, I was pleased with what I played. It's just like I do expect a little more in terms of not the location. Like I am impressed and at peak with location. You guys absolutely smashed it. But like, what will I be doing in 4.4? And the answer is probably just going to IAE and going to the convention center, and that's it. And then the December patch or whatever.
Yeah, we won't even be here in Nix anyway.
Yeah. I am hoping at least they mention during this year's CitizenCon, they mentioned that like there is a like introductory Nix mission, right, where we find out what that faction is, and then we get attacked by the Vandal, I think.
Yeah, which is so. I'm so whatever about that. I don't know how you feel about it, but
I mean, it could be cool. It's just they obviously did not go into very much detail about what that mission entails. And if it's
not
once again, kind of like what I said last week, if it is long enough to engage me, that then it takes me to get to the location, I'll be happy.
Yeah, we'll see. I feel like this is the system that I would make my home. Living just in a ship, I can see a lot of people doing mining, salvage. Like it seems like the miner salvager vibe, right?
Not just that, like the I can't remember if they did when they did the 1.0 presentation. Did they say? I think they said that the space station, the player and space stations, will not be in 1.0, right? That's like a further future thing.
I don't know if they ever implied yes or no.
Well, either way, when we can
We
get
assume
those,
no.
if we can put them in Nyx, 90% of them are going to be in there because it's just so cool. Like
Nyx,
100%.
Whatever the Nyx 1 or 2, whichever one was the beautiful planet they showed.
I believe
How are you not going to want to live on that thing, though?
I want to live in the Glacian belt. Screw that. I want to set up a space station in the belt.
I do too, but I think it would just be I would live in my ship in the Glacian belt. But if I had a base,
that's fair. Yeah.
Personally, I want to have a base in like those beautiful grassy plains, that kind of area, or Daymar. Daymar still has a place in my heart. I love Daymar.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you want to go now that I just talked about base building? Do we go into those Spectrum posts?
Yep. So a couple of Spectrum comments from what's the dev's name?
Declan.
On crafting, blueprints.
It's this guy.
Base building, all that sort of stuff. So we'll have a look at the comments here, but like my sort of vibe from them was like a lot of this stuff they had mostly talked about. Some of it's like more clarification than it is new information.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so. New clarification. You want to start with land claims? I think that's for me. I think that's one of the better places to start. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got a lot to say on this one. I think this is stuff that we already knew that they were going to go regional to begin, and this is stuff that they have already said. But it is still problematic, I think, in many ways. Hello, within a region, for example, Europe, a copy of every land claim / base will exist on all shards, so the same land claim cannot be taken by two different people. I think that that's good. I don't know what you think about that, but like it that takes sand and puts it in the sandbox a little bit. Is you impact that area of the game in some way, shape, or form. Nobody else can have it. That is yours, at least within your region. So, a desirable spot, for example, near a river or something like that, is a desirable spot for a reason. And then you can become and this is a very sandboxy type activity, a real estate agent where you go and place bases at beautiful places and build bases for people and sell them to other players who don't have the time or desire to do that, right? Things like that. Those are things that can now actively happen. I don't think this will ever happen for reasons that we'll state in a moment, but you could run out of land and then those become even more desirable things that happen in Ultima Online. Right, there was literally no place you could place a house in Ultima Online while I was playing it, so you needed a legitimate real estate market.
That's one thing I was going to mention, which like a lot of people I saw were concerned about, like, this is going to mean that like I can't get a base anywhere near I want and all this sort of stuff, and like talking about just every place is going to be full. I'm never going to be able to place anything. These planets are enormous.
Yeah, it's never going to happen.
People do not understand just how large they are. First off, it's by region. So you're already splitting the population that way in terms of the locations. So me on Australia versus Mike on US, right? We could theoretically have like the same location. In our regions. So that's fine. And yeah, they are just truly enormous. I do not think this is going to be a problem. And if it does become a problem, what you're likely going to end up with is like when we start to get close to new systems opening, right? Because also this is still not going to happen until 1.0 anyway. But when you start to get close to new systems happening after that initial 5, you're then also opening up new real estate.
Yeah.
The other thing that I saw people sort of talking about is like, okay, sure, but let's say you're a really, really big org, you got a stupid amount of money. You could have like one player just buy up a ton. I don't think it's talked about here, but what I've always thought was going to be the case is additional land claims would become more and more expensive, as well as you may end up with a limit of how many land claims you can
exactly.
have. And if that is not a thing CRG have said before, which it very likely probably isn't, that is a way to stop that from happening that like works pretty well.
Yeah. I see in Twitch chat Quarkon saying I would I would say that having all nicer looking places full of bases would not be nice. I do hope we get a situation where they like make reserves, like nature reserves and things that you
That'd be
just
cool.
can't place bases on, and there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But you're meant to leave it alone, and maybe you can be like an evil pirate and go and kill the fauna there and get in trouble for it or something like that.
That would be cool. But also keep in mind, like I think what they're thinking of is like, let's say you go to one of the lakes at Microtech, right? It's like, 6 people have put bases around the lake.
Yep.
They won't be able to with the way that the system's currently built. Because if you have an 8x8 claim, you have only your building in that 8x8, theoretically also possibly your org mates, but they're still within the claim, right? So it's not going to be like, I think the one time I ever played Star Wars Galaxies, I went through just like dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of old houses that no one was using anymore. I don't think you'll experience that because you will have
Ultima Online was.
the larger space being open, right? Like you're also, if you have like an 8x8 claim, you aren't going to fill up that entire 8 kilometers by 8 kilometers. No shot. So,
challenge accepted.
Okay, Mike might. Yeah. Mike's just going to build basic factory 1 billion times across the 8x8. It'll probably be fine, but it's I think these are reasonable concerns to have, because even with these like these spectrum posts, it still leaves those questions unanswered, I guess.
Yeah. All right, so that was just the first sentence.
Yes.
Assuming the players open up their base to the public, and have a player-run store, I doubt there will be many player-run stores in Pyro because of base rating and stuff like that. You don't really want to let people know that you have stuff at your base, like what? Yep. So we'll see what happens with that. Or you can run a player-run store with the shield over it for the week, and then you're safe. But there'll be copies of those bases, and if you have permission to go in them, you will be able to interact with them. For stores, the inventory for what's for sale is shared across all shards, so that's good as well. However, this is where it gets interesting and weird and just unfortunate, I would say. However, when it comes to rating a base, this can only occur on a single shard. Makes sense. I'm not going to argue against that. Obviously, that makes sense. Which shard?
In a technical way that it has to work.
Yeah.
Like that.
What else are they going to do, right? Which shard this happens to be is dynamic depending on the circumstances. The easiest example is if owner of the base is online and at their base, then the shard they're on is the only shard where this base can be rated. I heard somebody said in Twitch chat that Burks and Zero were having a conversation about this and saying, then people are going to hop servers, all that stuff. I don't think so. Whenever you begin a raid, if they hop servers, it's not going to make you go to that server. If they do, that would obviously get fixed and weird. So I'm not sure what the issue is here, but I'll keep reading. If you attempt to attack a base and you are not on the correct shard, you'll be given the option to transfer to the correct shard. Likewise, party or org members arriving to defend would be transferred to the shard where it's kicking off, so they're able to help. And I said immediately, so there are loading screens in Star Citizen.
Well, maybe because
you need them.
Actually. Not necessarily. So an example I'll bring up is in World of Warcraft, right? This was a while ago, so I'm hoping that I'm remembering correctly. You would have cases where you're trying to go into a dungeon or something.
Okay.
You would have, and you're partying up with people who are essentially in different shards.
Yep.
And you wouldn't load screen. Basically, their characters would just load up. Like they would just sort of fade in.
Okay.
Where they were.
We got to address something
not necessarily,
in Twitch chat, though.
But maybe. Still maybe.
Yeah, just before it goes away, this needs to be addressed. The Slippers in Twitch chat goes, so they're abandoning the one single sharded universe. They definitely are abandoning it. Because it is a first person. Yeah, it's a first person game. There are way too many things that are based on ping. There's no way they're not going to have regional shards.
Yep.
What I take issue with the most here is, and not really take issue, it's just pointing out the weird flaws, is they kind of set that expectation that you had, the Slippers, so did I. And that was the thing from, the early days, and they never said it because they don't want to say it because they don't want to disappoint you, I guess. But that was very clearly not going to be a thing since they started talking about server meshing more recently. And what I take issue with here is we're not mentioning what the goals are for players in a shard. We're not, talking about tens of thousands or 5,000 or 3,000 or 2, whatever the number is, because they're not sure what they can do yet. And what I think Declan is trying to do here is say, give you the worst case scenario is what I'm looking at here. Because the worst case scenario is there's 15 European shards. Because that goes, like, everything that is being written here goes against everything that has been spoken about for years around persistence and immersion or things like that, where if you are on different shards, then the impact that you're having on the sandbox gets very muddy, or like however you're interacting with the world. I think it's very important for them to get to 1 to 2 shards in each region, no matter how many players they have playing, simply because I think you want to be able... Hear me out. Let me finish. Like,
no, I know, but I think you're misunderstanding how shards work is the problem.
Maybe, but I'm going from my experiences in MMOs before. US 100 is a shard. And the things that happen on US 100 are the stories that are told on US 100.
Yeah, no, that's not the case here. When you load into, because that's what server meshing is. This is how this works. We right now have multiple shards in the system, right?
No, you have multiple servers in a shard.
Sure, but their intention is that you are transferring between shards when you play. And that's also what they're talking about here with the base rating and stuff.
I feel like
you will be transferring between shards when you play.
I could be wrong, but I feel like I've never heard that said once.
They talk about it right there.
Yeah. That is,
yeah.
I'm given the option to transfer. You're sent to a menu, potentially. Well, or it's automatic, like you're saying. But that's the point of dynamic sharding. It's not called dynamic sharding. It's called dynamic server meshing. And they make a very clear distinction between shards and servers, guys. Come on.
So because it's also, remember, even in this description here, they are talking about how the bases are existing within region, not within shard, right? So the implication is you will be interacting with people within the region through different shards, probably, right? Depending on when you log in and stuff.
And what you're describing is more like WoW phasing, or no?
Yes, which is like that's why their description here makes a lot of sense. Is like you've got your base. Your base is not on a shard. Your base is on the region. You've loaded in. It's on this shard today, right? And then you've come to attack me, but you're on a different shard. Now it's going to cross shard you, so you can actually get in.
And this is why we need actual SELs and ISCs. Mike, my man, this is a bad take. Brother, it's not a take, it's reality. I don't know what to tell you.
I will say there is one thing that you mentioned that like I do think will probably happen. So US West does not have the same population as AU, does not have the same population as Asia, does not have the same population as Europe. We will probably end up at a point where we do have multiple grand shards. I don't know what you want to call them, but like multiple servers,
multiple shards,
type servers per regions, right? You'll have Europe 1, you'll have Europe 2, you'll have US West, you'll have US East, and so on. I can imagine that ending up happening for sure.
Me too, and I'm okay with that as long as we're not dealing with 10 to 15 shards. That because it goes against the idea of what the game would be. Now, you are like, I have people in YouTube chat saying like Croncy showing Mike how the game works and he actually understands the game mechanics.
No,
you don't. And like he is making assumptions just the same way that I am. And the issue here is that nobody has come out clearly spoken to us about these. So he's on one side and thinks that it could be this way because he's played like World of Warcraft and things like that. And I'm sitting on the side where New World is and Ultima Online and other games that I've played that have regional shards. They like Ultima Online in the 1990s and early 2000s had regional shards with server meshing in them.
Yeah.
Okay, regional shards with server meshing inside of those, and that was it. And like that's how this stuff worked. And the stories that were told on the Pacific Shard and where you had your house on the Pacific Shard was where your house was, and that was like the guilds that were there were the guilds on the Pacific Shard. The guilds on the Atlantic Shard were the guilds on the Atlantic Shard. And so like the stories that are going to be told in Europe are different than the stories that are going to be told in America on these servers. And what I'm just hoping for, and my limited concerns are, and these are very limited because, again, we don't have any information, is if we are, and again, why I think he's giving us the worst case scenario is if we are going to be split up significantly, this is going to get awkward. And all I want to hear is like, okay, you know, is it going to be like what Croncy says? And if it is, I'm way less concerned. Or is it going to be more like what I say for a period of time until servers get better, optimization gets better, we add more, you know, and then we slowly shrink the amount of shards, and then we hit 1.0, and then we have what we have. And then it could get better from there, of course, as well. But you don't want to be in a situation where you're merging shards in situations like this, and right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, like it's very funny. Everyone in Twitch chat was telling me I was right and you were wrong. Everyone in YouTube chat was telling me that I was wrong and you were right. And that's how we know nobody fucking knows the answer.
The answer is clearly we're going back to one shard for everyone, guys. It's
That's never
possible
happening.
now.
That's the one thing we know is never happening.
Yeah. Every time someone brings that up, I have to mention, like, you know, I'm never going to have better than 200 ping ever between myself and America. You guys get that, right? That is a essentially physical impossibility. Yeah. That means it's going to be terrible if I am ever in those servers. So it's just not going to be a thing.
One shard for economy is definitely going to happen. Can you read the screen?
So that is.
It's literally on the screen that it's not going to happen.
Well, I do think they could do an interesting thing in regards to that where. Actually, no, I don't want them to.
It'll be regional.
I immediately take it back because, if like the resource gathering is regional, then you also want like prices to be regional and stuff as well.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to be like, hey, I'm mining at this one location, but I'm worse than Mike is mining at that one location.
Yep.
So you know what I mean? Like there should be a difference actually.
Or even just like this region or shard is busier than others, so prices would just dynamically be different. But again, we don't even know if we're having a dynamic economy. Let's be honest there. But again, all I'm trying to point out here is this can get awkward.
It definitely can, 100%.
And it might
in a couple of different ways.
And hopefully it doesn't. Right? The base rating.
I will say I don't know if there's any other way they can do it. Is the thing as well? Like
they've put themselves in this box.
Exactly, yeah.
And that's the other thing that we want to point out is like they promised you the world, but then as the technology is built, they are finding the restrictions that they have with them. And instead of like kind of giving up on some things and making concessions, I mean, I guess it's kind of what they're doing here. They're trying to make this broken thing work, I think. And it's just like, I don't blame the guy making the post on any of this stuff, just to be clear. He's just telling you what they're going to do. And it's the best of the situation we're in, I think. This is the best they can do with what we have. So thumbs up for that. It's unfortunate what we have.
Yeah.
Because other games do this and I think have less problems.
Yeah. I do just want to address saying that I am misinterpreting the concept. At the very least, they are saying that is what's going to happen here. At the very least, they are saying you will change shards in order to do these base ratings.
What I think people are telling you is you're implying that it'll be somewhat more seamless than I am. And we don't know the answer if it will or if it won't. Like people are choosing teams. Hashtag Team Croncy or hashtag Team Mike in chat, guys. They're literally going, I'm on team. Yeah. we're gonna have an election and see who gets it right. But No, it's we'll
Anyway,
see.
that's the first post.
Hey, this is a great opportunity for a long-term bet for a new character creator option. Let's see what happens.
So far away from now, though, Mike.
This is 10 years away.
We're not going to remember this one.
True. Let's not even bother. But yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one for that. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, true.
Next post. This one is way less problematic. This is just thumbs up, cool. So we're moving on this one pretty quickly. Hello, for tech preview, the fabricator can input and output from your location inventory. That was a big thing that I was concerned about. Great.
Yep.
As long as it's within your hangar. So, for example, if there's 232 SU containers of iron and copper, so long as they're stored away in your freight elevator, they'll appear as materials on your UI for crafting. Beyond a tech preview, they want it to be on like your ship's cargo grid and inventory and so on and so forth. Cool. Thumbs up. Nothing bad to say about that. Moving on. Now I have some bad things to say. This is about blueprints and crafting blueprints. We get a lot more clarification on the Declan on SCL going, we are splitting cosmetics from their items. That's all he said. It was one sentence. This is a lot more than one sentence on the subject. Do you want to take it away? Do you have it up for you, or do you want me to read it? I can read it. I just was like, I've been the one talking and too much, and I didn't want to extend.
That's all good. The LTB issues with resources look to be addressed. For blueprints, they will persist through patches, but are not permanently bound to your account like event rewards, which is interesting. So if there was ever to be a full wipe, they would be lost. The exception to this rule is some cosmetic blueprints.
I think it's because there won't be a wipe long term. So why deal with LTP when you will never wipe these things anyway? But so long as we're not dealing with the issues that we have when new patches come out, which is obvious, that has to be a thing when the game launches, right? Is to deal with that problem. So yeah, I don't see an issue with it.
Yeah, no, I guess it makes sense that they would go through the wipes because they are an economy based item.
You should never lose cosmetics. Sure. It's weird.
Yeah, 100%. You should never lose cosmetics. But if it's like, I guess it makes sense to lose them through wipes and stuff because you're losing the progress that presumably got you those blueprints as well.
I think he'll go into why in a second. Is LTP is for physical items. Yeah. Keep reading.
Long-term goal with cosmetics paints is to convert them into a blueprint so they are no longer physicalized at a location. Or bound to an entity. If one of the items that you earned in an event is converted to be an item plus cosmetic blueprint, that cosmetic blueprint will, of course, still be permanently account bound.
Cool. So it's like, hey, let's help deal with the fact that you have 300 physicalized paints in your inventory and 300 of a bunch of different guns that are all paints. Instead, we will create a list that you can apply those skins to the items in the game. Thumbs up. We've been talking about that forever here. We knew it was coming because he told us they were splitting them, but good to hear it. And that there's a cosmetic blueprint, and the cosmetic blueprint does not create the item. It applies it to an item, which is great because that's what he says next. Just to be very clear, a cosmetic blueprint does not craft the item itself. It just allows for that cosmetic to be applied to the item via the crafting UI. So if you earned an event armor with a cool red skin, you could then trade it for a better version of that armor later on and apply it to your cool red event skin to it. There's so much in that sentence because you find the physical item. Are you pulling off the paint from it and creating a blueprint in that way? It sounds like it, which is cool.
No. I think you're misunderstanding that sentence. So they're saying you've done what's an event recently that gave you a skin? Just any event.
The resource drive.
Resource drive. So you did resource drive, you got the skin, you got the reward. What is one of the items during resource drive that you get? Because there's too many cosmetics anyway, but I can't remember.
Hurston armor.
No, Hurston armor. You find one of the pieces of regular armor. Like you're just out looting and you just find one of the pieces of regular armor.
Sure.
You could then find, you've found it. You then take that home, then you apply the skin to that armor.
Stop saying Team Croncy in chat. What skin? The cool red skin?
The skin that you got from that event. is now in your blueprints. You have
Yes, that's what I'm
found that
saying.
armor, but it's like tier 2. Now you can, from your blueprints, put the skin onto that armor.
Okay, that's not what's written here. Let's read the sentence again. So if you earned an event armor with a cool red skin, so do you think that he's saying a before this change event armor? Is that why you're saying what you're saying?
No, not necessarily. So
if I find a physical item in the game, because he's saying an event armor. If I get an event armor in the game with a cool red skin, then I can find, craft, or trade a better version of that armor, which is something totally different and that would look different, and then apply the
not necessarily
skin.
Look different. Just because the implication is like
look different, like
the tier
not
2
skinned
version
red,
of that armor.
not skinned red. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by look different, and apply that red skin to it. So this is an item. And I'm just like, is he saying that we pull the skin off of it and then apply it to, not necessarily off of it.
Not quite.
But now I also have the blueprint for that skin. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
That's
so
all.
if you base it off the second paragraph, he's just saying you're just getting blueprints of the skins that you've got.
Yeah.
And then that can be applied to the items.
I'm getting like no again, and I don't know how that I'm getting, like, I feel like everyone is against me today, and I am not wrong at all. I know I'm not
against
wrong.
You. Chat's wrong. The main thing that I get from this is the fact that they are saying, I did the Hurston stuff, and now I can get the tier 2 armor and apply the skin to it. You know what that means?
Or craft it or whatever. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, craft the tier 2 armor and then apply the skin to it or whatever.
Yep.
That means that there are implications there with insurance. There are implications there with you keeping the stuff in your hangar,
We
but
still
then
need answers.
In-game stuff happening that is positive. There's implication.
This implies that everything you purchased on the website is the lowest tier possible. Is what you're saying. And that is a very decent thing. But if you think really deeply about it, do you think this level of progression, so you have 5 levels of progression for every item in the game then, is that enough to keep you on the MMO hamster wheel? We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's especially because it's not how it works.
It's also because the way they've talked about crafting, it's also not like 5 static levels. Like a 2 tier 2s of the same item could have. It's your stats.
Unique choices and what like level of material quality you used and all that stuff. Yeah. Sure.
So they could be for sure.
Yeah. So there is a convenient thing that is missing here, and that is my big concern still, which is my same concern as before. I think Declan is a very smart guy, and he definitely rewrote and read these couple paragraphs a few times before he posted it, because he is conveniently leaving out exactly what you're implying. What happens when I lose the item? We know we keep the skin now. So now we can apply the skin to anything. And we know that we can craft, find, and trade for a better version. What happens to the version that I had? They still are not addressing item recovery in a clear and concise way yet, even though they read item insurance, like even though they gave us the item insurance stuff. I don't think that is set in perfect stone yet, or is it?
I think there's a lot of stuff about that's still being molded because the game.
And I think that's why he's kind of conveniently leaving that out, is because he doesn't want to be held to a standard that is not something that they are ready for yet.
I will say, based on this, once again, it's more of an implication, but it's sort of, I think it's reasonable, is like based on this paragraph, at the very least, your like FPS armor, your FPS guns, FPS armor, pledged event rewards and whatnot, the insurance will just be the cosmetic by default. Like anything, like the blueprint, cosmetic blueprint, which they mention.
I hope so.
Like you will not lose those in a wipe, right?
It comes down to, are they going to go the Eve route and say, we delivered you the item, you've lost it. I don't think so,
Yeah.
because the items are way more expensive.
Mhm.
And they've already explained to us the idea of the what was it called, the warranty, where like you paid real money for this thing, you're never going to lose it.
Yeah.
I don't think that's changing. Just to be clear, it's just
Mhm.
when I'm saying they haven't addressed is exactly how you get it back. Is it
Yeah.
a thing that you need to recraft? Is it a thing that you need to go to Wicklow for? Is it a thing that you just pay
Mhm.
money and you get it back over a certain period of time? How long is that time? All of that
Yeah.
stuff. So yeah, pledged items get auto
And without
insured.
that,
Yeah, they
yeah.
also automatically have a warranty on them too. So yeah.
And outside of that, this is base level stuff that you should be doing. If I get a skin, I should be able to apply it to the better version of that thing
Yes.
anyway.
So
cool.
again, massive thumbs up. Just all I
Yeah.
have are questions, and I point out the questions
Sure.
of where it can go wrong, not where it can go right. What's the point of that, right?
Mhm.
It's obviously this is good, but I
One
still
more thing,
have
which is just I
questions.
do think this system is like a lot of the questions you're talking about are like post what we know is coming for crafting. Like this works with what they've said is coming with crafting. Well, not soon, but like
As in,
with
just
with the
recraft your shit.
yeah,
Yeah,
like all of this makes sense in game today with the new crafting module when it comes out. So maybe it's just that. Maybe they're not really talking about the future of it after that.
yeah. I mean, Time of Chaos in Twitch chat says, I assume all skins or no skins and blueprints will be tiered. They're cosmetic. I think he's very confused about what we're discussing because you're not just buying the Okay, you are not buying a $20 armor on the website. They are pricing it at $20 because they know that you are paying to progress, paying to win, paying to skip, however you want to call it. They know
Mhm.
you are buying that item for an advantage, and they know they're able to price it at that number for that. And they know you are going to rage if they change that system away from you losing that item. That's why we have tier 0 item recovery now, and that's why they have endlessly sold packages with armor, weapons, and things like that, is because it's part of their funding model for the year. Tier 0 item recovery is not made necessarily to make the game better for us. It is to make the pledge store more desirable. It just also makes the game better for us since they don't have to or have time to prioritize the insurance system just yet. So it kills two birds with one stone. Tier 0 is not bad all around. It is just not what I want. I think some people don't want tier 0 to go away at all.
Certainly not,
right?
And certainly not future proof.
Yeah. So it just comes down to like what happens when you claim a ship and what happens when you claim these items is just what's the process of getting it back, and they have not shared that exact process at all. And we'll see. So yeah.
Cool.
Other than that,
was there any? Yeah, I was gonna say, was there anything else? Because we actually have so many people in the calls now. Just like last week, everyone's popped in like the last 15, 20 minutes.
All right.
Classic.
Yeah, we got half an hour. We end at 12. So we're gonna stay on top of you guys because the time zone changes with Croncy. There's no way we're going long. And stick to the topics. If you want to talk about your own thing, I am sending your ass right out. Okay.
Yep.
So the topics.
And if you want to call in the future, don't wait until halfway through. You can go into the description below. If you're watching on YouTube, go into the green room, and then we'll bring you on. If you're on Twitch, on Mike's channel, go !my podcast. Follow the link.
Yeah. Just because we got a long group of people, I'm not going to kick you out because I'm an asshole. You're being the asshole for not sticking to the topic on for the other people that we could have gotten in, right? All right. Shark is first. SharxByte. How we doing?
Good, Shark.
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
Good.
What's
up? First of all, the Nix test was amazing. I was honestly surprised by the fact that it seemed to work so well, considering like so many things could have gone wrong, could have been oversights as far as like if they added a third system and the server meshing hadn't taken that into account, things could have gone really bad. Like we had only seen them put two systems together, And so just throwing a third system and it seems to work out of the box. It was a little bit laggy, but as far as like an Evo test goes, like I didn't have any server crashes. I
I had
actually
one client crash. That was it, and
okay,
that's good.
Yeah, I just had frame rate issues. That was pretty much it.
Yep. And as soon as I got away from Levski, just immediate improvement. It was like glass. And I left my account shooting forward. I was in my glaive flying towards the red spot, and just knocked my joystick to the side a little bit and left it there and came back in like an hour and a half and it was still AFK flying forward. So yeah, just didn't have any issues with stability at all.
That's good.
And then yeah. The engineering test felt like maybe they needed some more checklists or something to like go through, make sure that there weren't redundancies in like the key bindings menu, because like I was in my Guardian MX and there were settings that conflicted with each other between the engineering menu and the power settings menu, and some of them didn't properly replace the other settings, and so they would like cause it to not power on properly all the way, or like the lights didn't come on when I powered on the ship.
The Avenger Titan automatically catches fire.
Oh, fun.
It's just set up to catch on fire.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's why I fly Origin. I tried to pull up my TAC and like it looked like it was a gray box render. It was missing doors. The entire inside didn't render. I picked up the shampoo, the fake Axe stuff that they normally have in the bathroom off of the floor because that's where it spawned, and found out that it has lorem ipsum in 3 different translations on the back, but that's not really anything to do with the test. It was just kind of an interesting Easter egg. But yeah, so I couldn't use most of the ships that I had. I'm going to say it every time. I'm really sad/pissed that they haven't given us the updated models for the glaive and stuff, because I think that's important for when they're releasing the Vandal into the system for the first time.
Yep.
And then let's see. As far as in the future tests, I'm definitely looking forward to them. I'm like Mike said, hoping that it's like this week, next couple days.
Yeah.
But it was definitely an Evo build.
Yeah.
One of the things that I noticed, and I guess I kind of disagree with Croncy because he said it seems like it's pretty intuitive and straightforward on the management of the UI. I think that it's too complex, at least the way that they have it set up. I would like if it would like start out with your overall general view of the ship as like a graphic, and then you have little icons or whatever, and you can click on each of the different things to zoom in and get more details for where your power distribution is, or if you want to vent things. Having all of the little text menus and stuff is not fast for management, and especially when you have to do it on a little in an MFD, when you're trying to fly, when you're in combat, anything else, that is just, it's way too much to read and process when you're trying to make really quick changes back and forth. And we're already keybind limited, so trying to figure out how to manage all that stuff should be stuff that you set up in advance, and then it should be persistent. But when you're trying to do all of the management and the like prevention of components blowing up and all that in the middle of combat while you're flying, it seems like that isn't going to work very well for the single person ships, and it still seems pretty complex for the multi-person ships. So
good.
I mean, I assume with the presets, people will start to have like, I've got my emergency shield preset, I've got my, like all weapons preset, all that sort of stuff, that you'll, realistically in fights, you're mostly just going between those, and then slight tweaks here and there, depending on what's going on, right? I don't think it'll be as... I can see what you're saying in terms of being a complex system. I think in practice, there'll be a little bit of setup, and then it won't be as complex during it. Unless, of course, everything goes to crap and you've lost your power plant, whatever.
Yeah.
Which that's a different situation.
Yeah.
One thing that I do hope that they take into account, I don't know if you guys have heard of or read the book Nudge, but it's a really good book as far as like helping you to think about how not just like what options are given, but how the options are framed and how that influences the decisions that people make. But like choosing smart defaults and making sure that similar to the way that they took archetypes for the like light fighter, heavy fighter, larger cruise ship, etc. for when they were doing flight tuning, they should have those defaults already pre-set up for the engineering settings and then tweak them individually per the ships, because that way it's going to A, speed up the time that it takes for implementation for adding new ships to it, and B, it's going to make it so that the settings by default tend to make more sense for the ship when you get into it.
Yeah,
but
I got you. Nothing to add there.
And then as far as the transferring to different shards, like when your base is being attacked or whatever, one way that they could do it is they could have it in a similar way to, like they've already said, you could be transferred between shards when they're like sorting people to get a good flow for like rooms being filled up or not being too crowded. And so if they're going to already be able to shift you between servers that way, having replication layers on different servers talking to each other, they may be able to shift you in the middle of a quantum jump, and you might not even know that you shifted shards.
Okay, but then the example given, you're
would...
standing at the base and ready to attack it. You're not going to be in quantum jump.
Sure. I was saying more for like when you're in an org and you get the notification that your base is being attacked.
Oh yeah,
you jump
that
to your
could be
base
seamless.
and then.
But none of the discussions I was having was addressing that at all. It was, I am in game and I will be potentially taken out of the game to raid a base. That goes against everything that Chris Roberts has ever said, ever.
Yep.
But Croncy also points out that possibly would not happen, and now it's just a matter of, okay, what's it going to be?
But also, if they have to take you out, it's like
it is what it is.
Like, I don't.
If they have to.
Yeah, I don't see how
the
else
world.
they could do it.
No,
that's the
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that's why I'm saying they're making the best of a bad situation.
Yeah.
I mean, they could make it so as soon as you're approaching someone else's territory, they're like, okay, this territory's home base is on this particular server. So as you approach that area, they're going to at least try to shift you towards the shard that's already on.
Yeah.
And just make it so it's prioritized that way. But
yeah, we'll see.
You know what I would want it to be, Mike? Like that could be the best of all worlds, where it's like both works and is a little seamless. You know, when you have like a server error and it's just kind of a bit of a pause, it's just a little menu that pops up. You could do something like that. Like you could, if you wanted to do that.
You absolutely could. What if when you get there, everybody is standing there with a gun pointed at you when you just appear in front of them?
Good luck.
Yeah, that'll be a problem.
Yeah, so even if it's seamless, it ain't
Actually,
seamless.
no, the answer to that is get baited. We got you to come over to the server, you idiot.
Yeah, it's like invincibility for a little while or something, and then
anyway,
I don't know. There's so many issues with this, and again, it is the best of a bad situation. Like I don't have any issues with what they're saying, but there's no way it goes. It goes with what Chris's vision was initially.
Yeah,
because
the alternative as well. Shard. If they didn't try to solve this problem, the alternative would be a base per shard, and then the game is going to feel real empty.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll see. But Shark, that's definitely time. So we'll let you go. And
I have the perfect solution. They should make it like super hot. So when you jump into someone else's base, it takes the maximum lag and slows down everyone's speed to that.
Yeah,
time dilation.
The EVE Online solution. There you go.
Yeah.
You just watch your bullets go in slow motion. Take care, you guys.
Cool.
Hey,
cheers,
thank you, Shark, as always, man.
Bye.
Catch you. Cool. And Shark, and for everyone behind, Shark didn't do his spiel that he does just so he can get you guys in. So I appreciate that, Shark. ImmElfo. Are you there? Can you hear us?
Elfo, how are we doing? You are currently muted.
Just realized that. I'm here. Hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
How you guys doing?
Did DirtyKaze
Pretty good.
pop out? I think he did.
All right.
There
So
you go.
there's only one thing I really want to talk about, and that's just the base building and the base reading and everything being across shard. Basically, what you guys just talked about, and how overcomplicated it is for no reason. I don't know why CAG is trying to reinvent the wheel for base rating and like having to cross shards to do it when it just seems overcomplicated to me. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Their server meshing is what the problem is that like what Croncy said is there's so much area in Star Citizen that if you were on one server, let's call it server US 100, and there's 15 of them, then you would never come across a base.
Right.
To raid.
But I don't think
it's
that's
And then the opposite problem. If everyone was on like the one shard, you would end up with raids with like tens of thousands of people, and everyone's computers would explode.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or you would be raiding an Australian base as a US player, and somebody's going to have a bad time.
Exactly, yeah.
So
the region locking I don't have a problem with. I don't think you should be able to, I think region locking is perfectly fine for having your base on it. I think my issue is more like I don't need to see my base on multiple different servers. Like that doesn't change the game for me in any way. Like I've seen the effects that it has on No Man's Sky where you can see other people's bases on the exact same location that someone else built their bases, and it brings up so many, like No Man's Sky has so many issues where your buddy that's in a party with you might not even see the base loaded.
In this case, because that's because in No Man's Sky you're saying that there's 3 different bases on top of the same spot.
Yeah.
In this case, it's just one. So everybody sees the same thing. So I don't think that's that big of an issue.
Okay, yeah. The only other thing would be like the jumping between, like, if you're on a different shard, you're going to raid this person's base, and then you have to get the notification to like, hey, he's not on the server, you have to jump to the other one. I think that's terrible. Like, I think it kind of takes the fun out of like getting your group together and going to that base and like pre-scouting out the base before you go and like attack it, because then you could just sit on the other shard and basically just scout this guy's base while he's on the other server, and that guy would have no idea that he's about to get raided. That's
an actually really interesting take. Like,
yeah.
What if like how is that going to work? Are they just going to? So they mentioned like if it's open to everyone, you'll just be able to go in. And in that case, sure, like scout my base all you want if you're about to raid it. If I've opened it to everyone, I have fully accepted that's the case. If I haven't opened it to everyone, will it be the case where I can still go in there, and as long as I'm not attacking it, I can still scout it out and stuff? Like they don't talk about that.
We
here,
have
right? They don't talk about
we
actual
have trespassing systems. We potentially are going to have FPS turrets. So
So what I would want to do is
like, but I don't know.
Yeah, if there was like if I have set my base to private or whatever, and I'm in a location that I can be raided, what I would want to happen, or even if I was raiding someone, what I would want to happen to make it sort of quote unquote the most fair is, me and my group come within the, X amount of distance of the base. You get the notification, hey, you're approaching private airspace, kind of like how you do now, or whatever. But then it's, like you have 30 seconds to change shard or you're going to get pushed away or whatever.
Yep.
And then I don't want the person who's being attacked to be notified until I actively do something. Like, so I choose yes, I go into the shard. I don't want them to be notified until I actually am starting to do some type of combat. That's what I would say
want. That I believe I could bring it back up, but it did say when you go to attack the base, that's when it gives you the option to switch shards. So
yeah,
maybe
but it's like, what does attacking the base mean? Is my thing, right? Like there's so many different aspects of
we could go into
what a raid could be.
They explained it already. So first off, before we even get into that, real quick. ImmElfo, I don't want to take up too much of your time. I'm going to quickly say this.
Oh, good.
this is one of the most pointless conversations as well, because everyone's going to place their base in Stanton, and there's no base rating there, so it doesn't even matter. This is going to be like your very tiny resource gathering bases that are going to be spread all around Pyro, and you're just going to hope they make it. You're going to wake up in Rust and hope you weren't raided. That's what it's going to be. So we are overcomplicating this conversation. But ImmElfo, take the wheel. Whatever else you want to say.
To talk about what you're saying there, like, I mean, my goal would be to live in Castra and then like have, if I want rare resources or whatever, I just put a small base out elsewhere. So really, it doesn't affect me, right?
So it won't affect anyone.
Yeah.
Anyone. You are everyone in this example. I don't know anybody who has a different plan.
Yeah, but I don't think it's necessarily like a bad thing to discuss anyway, because if we don't, then CIG won't look at it, right? And then we come to the situation where like it just becomes a mess. Like, one of my other problems is, what happens if you're going to base raid these guys, that shard is basically full, and then half your org gets transferred over and the other half is stuck on a queue?
That's life.
I would hope that, based on what they said, it would just you're shit out of luck. What I would hope they would do is, instead of trying to pull you into that shard, it would actually pull the person who owns the base into yours. But they don't say that. They say the exact opposite. They say it's always going to be into them.
At some point, this happens in every MMO like this. Somebody's going to stack and ruin everything.
Yeah.
Again, best of a bad situation. Because the
other option you need to be able to pull dilation.
The other option is time dilation, and you can't do that in an FPS game. So it is what it is.
Sorry, I'm just imagining FPS combat at 5% time dilation.
And imagine aiming at Hannah wiggling her character like at extreme speeds and trying to hit them in the head.
Yeah. But there's so many questions and just like not enough answers. I feel like just half a page of text for something as crucial as base building and base rating is like, it's just unacceptable. I think we deserve an SCL to like explain this stuff, because like it doesn't even explain like, do you come into atmosphere when you switch shards? Are you in space above the planet? Like there's no discussion on what happens when you actually do all this stuff, and I think it's just because they haven't worked on it.
That's what I was gonna say. It's almost certain they don't know yet. Like they've done presumably a lot of concept talks about how they want this gameplay to work, and obviously that information that they gave was within those talks. But there's obviously tons more. But a lot of that is also going to rely on how crafting is working and how base building ends up working and stuff. But they can't answer it necessarily, right?
Right. But that brings me to the point where like, then why give us this information? Like I like having information, but they're giving us more questions than answers in this case.
I'll speak up for that, and it sucks. It's unfair for you to say it, but it's fair. The devs are allowed to post on the forums, and I think the devs are excited for the work that they work on, and they want to. If people have questions, they want to share their intentions with the players. They don't want. So the other option is say nothing. Jared takes a nap somewhere and we never get any information on anything. So, like for me, I'm happy that we get more information. We have more things to discuss. We have more things to bring up that add to their discussions that they didn't think of, and everything gets better because of it. Like nothing bad happens from here other than, when they implement it and don't listen to anything we say, like always. But at least there's the opportunity for them to hear all of the possible ways that we are going to screw with the ideas that they have that they clearly didn't think about.
I think I would just rather have that on an SCL, like on text. It doesn't.
I agree. But for whatever reason, Jared is on permanent hiatus. I don't get why, what happened, whatever. We don't have any answers why. They say they don't want to bother the developers, but the developers are taking their own time out to make these posts. So I don't know. I don't get it.
I would definitely say in at least regards to that, there are other SELs I would prefer first before they got to that. I would much rather base building be somewhere in the horizon rather than on the other side of the planet.
We should have a crafting SEL after the tech preview or something.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, this is what we experienced. Where do we go next?
Yeah.
Blah 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 blah. But
I'd rather just have a home first. That's it.
Agreed. But Elfo, we'll let you go here, and yeah, we'll get to the next
good.
callers. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Fun
cheers a
talk,
ton.
and
Appreciate
I'm
you guys.
sorry we talked a little bit too much with you, but yeah.
No worries. Bye.
Cheers, mate.
All right,
Have a
bye,
good
man. All right, next is dirtyKaze, who was in here before. If people are wondering why they may have been skipped, I think he had maybe mic issues.
one. Dirty, how are we doing? You are currently muted.
Mike
Guys.
still okay. He's there.
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy, howdy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And pause my TV there. Okay, yeah. So first off, wanted to say congrats, Croncy, Space Dad.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
A true space
so,
dad.
True Space Dad, absolutely. Welcome to the club. And the next time Mike is dumping on a Space Dads, just remember, you're in the club now. So
I'll
feel good
still.
about
I'm not dunking on space dads.
Yeah.
Well, I was hoping you were going to, Anyways, welcome
Space
to the
dad
club.
means more than just having kids and liking Star Citizen, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, owning too many ships, of course. But yes, Nick's just welcome home. So excited to get back into it. I'm going to try to not spoil it even in the PTU when it comes there. I just want to wait till it goes live and just have that hopefully finished, polished experience. But it looks amazing what we're seeing here, so far. I do want to say that from what I've seen, and again, obviously you all have went through it, do you think that the Levski, kind of interior itself, were you expecting that to have a little bit more of an upgrade or a rework, I should say?
I'm
it
fine
seems,
with it.
Okay, cool. Because it seemed like
as-
it's very much original.
Yeah.
So as someone who didn't get to experience much of Levski, obviously I don't know necessarily what's been upgraded, except for like the obvious stuff that's like straight up new content that they've been talking about. And I felt like I was coming into a big new place. So at the very least, like, I mean, the majority of backers, I think, have been since 2021. So actually most of them haven't seen Levski yet. But at the very least, it's kind of new assets.
Like I was, we were looking for Recco Battaglia, and I was like, this is it. This is the hallway. If she's going to be here, she's going to be down here on the left. And I go down here on the left, and there she was. So like even the routing wasn't changed very much. And I'm cool. I'm cool with it. They did change quite a bit in terms of like there's multiple levels and all that. I don't remember that being there, but the certain things were the same, and I was like, I'm fine with it. I don't have any issues. What would I guess I would ask you, what does upgrade even mean?
Well, I don't know. I was just expecting, from what I've seen, the interiors to look just a little more, have a little more, polish to them, and also kind of concerned about. So it looks like some of the walkways and kind of areas that the NPCs are going to be having to come through. It seems like there's, I don't know, just a lot of collision potential there, but maybe not. Maybe I'm looking too much into it. But,
they
I will say
upgraded the trading area, like where the flea market, I guess it would be called.
Yeah, the Grand Barter.
Barter.
Yeah.
I will say, there were a couple of hallways where like two NPCs standing side by side did make it hard to get through.
So nothing major. I was just that was just an observation from watching your all's videos and stuff so far. But on base building, I'm hoping, or I shouldn't even say that, but would be nice if we could see base building come out in a tech preview, for instance, when they launch Nix 1 and say, here's why. You want to know why everybody's coming to to Nix? Well, build it and they will come. So Nix 1 tech preview, base building, and work it out there before rolling it out to to Pyro and Stan.
On principle, I agree with you. I think you're very optimistic of the time frame.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So like, I would like them to do exactly that. Of like, here is a tech preview where you're only base building in one location, and we're going to make it all work and blah blah blah. But I think we will probably have we'll probably have 2 new systems before that happens. I think base build
for base building
just for base. Yeah. Until we get base building.
We get base building next year. I think, but before
no shot.
before Q3.
No shot. We
First
don't
two
even have
quarters.
the crafting tech preview. And the crafting tech preview presumably will be like 6 months before Tier 0 crafting comes out, in which case we will then probably get the base building tech
I think
preview.
we get crafting
You know
tech
what I mean?
preview
Like,
by the end of the year.
so do I, but I think that's December. And then I think because that is tech preview, we still won't get crafting for like another 3 to 6 months.
Yep.
Right? And because of that, I
we'll
don't
see.
think we'll get base building for another 6 to 8 months, 6 to 12 months, even in the tech preview. I think it's very optimistic to think that we'll get base building that soon.
I think they are rushing. I think
Well,
they are.
that's for sure.
I think they don't. I don't think they care to get these systems in Tier 0 anymore. So I think we will have them in a state. Like, maybe we can't make the big bases. Maybe we can make a little house.
Yeah,
right?
just
Something
a little
like
hab
that.
out in the woods, cabin in the woods.
Like
Yeah.
one
Because
building
they're
that you
doing,
place
that's
stuff
essentially
in.
what they're doing here with Nick.
Yeah.
They're saying,
I don't know.
here's Levski, here's Delamar, and we're
I'm
going
just
to
trying to
build
make
the
a
rest
bet
of
with
it
you,
in front of
Croncy.
you.
I'm trying to create a character for you again. All
We
right.
want
I'm just trying to
character in a big baby Yui diaper.
Exactly.
And that's
Mike longs
his
for the
flight suit
casino.
is,
He's just
Yeah.
trying to place
big
bets
diaper.
every which way.
Exactly. I've been out of the casino for too long. I'm trying to gamble over here. Over under when we get crap. I think it's within the first 2 quarters of next year. They've had 2 years. Come on, let's go.
Mike, they've had 13.
Yeah. They got to do it. I think it'll be trash, but they'll do it.
And then just throwing my idea into the hat here on the whole shard jumping thing is I think that you got your base open. There's no shield. Everybody, comes and goes and explores and, goes through your underwear drawers, whatever. But, you put the shield up, and then that is kind of the gateway to where, now I can attack. We can see your shields up, and we can mount our attack and get our org in place to attack. But once we start attacking that shield, bam, the alarms go off under attack. I get the warning. I can fly back to my base, I've only got a few minutes maybe to do that, but I mean, I've get like a few minute, burn down of the shield before everybody is, Shazam, transition, screen, explosions, whatever, to kind of transition us into that same shard for the fight the flag.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I mean, a bit interesting. The one of the other implications though from that post was that you won't be able to, and once again, implication, you won't be able to raid a base unless they are online at the base. Once again, just an implication. Hopefully not the case, because I would like there to be some type of offline rating and some type of like distance rating of some variety. Otherwise, like that sounds way too abusable, right?
Yeah. Going offline. See it. Somebody's near me. Going like offline.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. Like that sounds very abusable at the start. So I would hope that there's other systems in place. But yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, and then maybe that I know with some other MMOs, you purchase with in-game currency usually, although I guess you can't. There are plenty that got the credit card, but you purchase your shield. Say, hey, I'm going to be off this weekend, so I'm just putting my shield up for the weekend, and it's costing me credits to do it, but I don't want to get rated while I'm on vacation.
I mean, they've explained the system already, so that's not a thing. It's the only place that base rating exists, as far as we know, is possibly Nyx and definitely Pyro. And the system to protect your base in Pyro is a org v org system. You are gathering points with your org constantly, and you turn those points in hopes to get a shield on your base for 1 week. That shield holds for 1 week, and then you have to continue gathering points in order to do it again. And it's like I think like a silent auction type of thing. Like I am putting 50 points in the hat, and somebody else can put in 100, and you have no idea, and you just wasted your 50 points that you grinded out for the whole year. Go rewatch CitizenCon 2024 if you want to know how base protection will work in Stanton. it is protected. I guess if you don't pay your taxes, then eventually it'll just be open and whoever goes there can just take the shit. But what we don't know is how it'll be in Nyx, and then we'll see. So that's it. That's
I'll
how it
also
works.
add that that's for full protection. They also mentioned like you would be able to have defenses, like you would be able to build defenses in your base
Yes.
to protect it from like active attack. Basically.
Yeah. Exactly. So like the shields that were mentioned and stuff like that. The shield
turrets and
though
stuff.
is the actual like full
Yeah,
protection that you pay for. Hopefully,
Yeah, like
to get
I
in-game.
cannot be attacked for X amount of days or whatever.
Yep. So there you go.
No, so that would be great. And last point is just I sincerely hope that now that we're past SitCon and you know, all the work that Jared had to put into the SitCon Direct, I really hope we get back on some sort of a schedule with, at the very least, monthly, you know, SCLs.
3 weeks without one
to you know, to handle these, you know, most important, you know, upcoming tech, you know. So
I have good and bad news for you. There is going to be video content coming. IAE is in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's just going to be ship sales.
Yeah, it's going to be ships for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
And then yeah, still though, like you said, hopefully after that.
After that, yeah. I'm totally fine with the hiatus after SitCon. Do your ship sale videos and then come back and take your little hiatus again. And then I don't know. Then it's December, so it's like I don't know, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, this year was horrible. I hope they learn from that. It is like this is not good. It definitely kept. I think it took people's interest away, and I can only imagine how much more money they would have made if there were more ISCs and SCLs this year. They did so well financially; they would have done even better.
Yeah. Crush.
Yeah, because it just keeps everyone interested, I think, very well. But dirty.
And it's a fun thing to talk about on the podcast each week.
Exactly. Maybe we're just biased because of content creation, but I see this from everybody. All right, we don't have dirty. We don't have a lot of time left. Guys. So yeah, I'm gonna let you go, and we'll try to get to like 1 or 2 more, because we're pressed for time. All right. Thanks for calling, though.
Dirty.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Have a go, mate.
All right.
Yeah, I can afford like 1 more.
Yeah, exactly. We have a hard stop now with Croncy baby, and it's noon. And usually that's a good hard stop for me because it's family day, Sunday for me.
Okay.
So yeah, it kind of works.
AndMattBurt, how are we doing today?
Oh, doing well, thank you. How are you guys?
Good.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I'll rattle through. Engineering, like, so happy to finally see progress on this. Engineering is going to be my gameplay, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh yeah.
And
okay.
so
Take that, everyone, every single week who says, "Who would ever want to do this gameplay? It's stupid, dumb."
Yeah, I want to.
Yeah, no,
I don't want to fly.
Definitely all for it.
Anything but flying.
But yeah, so happy to see progress. Slightly surprised that it wasn't more progress, I guess, based on how long ago they said that they were about to release it.
Yeah.
That felt like a little bit, you know, a step backwards almost.
It was the first patch tech preview with actively them saying that things were missing from it. So I think it's fair criticism. I would reserve that judgment until we see the second tech preview. If then still nothing is added, then yeah, it's a little bit less than expected.
Yeah, of course. I mean, like they were talking about releasing it at the same time as they were talking about freight elevators, I believe. I
think originally, yeah.
Which feels like we've had freight elevators for quite a while, and albeit that they're still struggling, but they're struggling in live rather than struggling in a tech preview that nobody's played until this week.
Yeah.
So that was my thoughts on that. But yeah, stoked for the kind of finally seeing it in a build that not just CIG are playing.
Fire, man. There's fire in our ships.
Oh man. Yeah.
I wouldn't know. I couldn't see it. I was just really hot.
But hey,
the
fire extinguisher was like it was exactly how they showed it. Like again, it's a surprise when things like that happen.
But that is also like something that we've seen for years. Like the actual fire extinguisher weapon has been shown so many times in like different
CIG,
reports
man.
and stuff.
It's
I know.
It worked how they showed it, guys.
That's true.
It worked.
Yeah, I can't believe they
I'm
baited
saying
us by putting
positive
them all in
stuff.
the ship.
Don't contradict me when I say positive stuff. I never do that.
Just feels
This is
weird to not
I
take the other
know.
position.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, putting all the fire extinguishers in the ships, a year early.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then moving on, yeah, the raiding, base building, again, kind of all ties into that. Yeah, engineering, all of that kind of stuff for me. It's that same bag.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I'm surprised that they talked about it this early. Like, it feels like it's still something that's a long way away. And so giving one dev the ability to just throw a fireball into the ring did feel a little bit kind of
Open
out
development.
of the blue when
You
it's
guys
so
want
early.
it. This is
It's
it.
true.
I
Yeah.
think it was fine because it wasn't like extremely detailed stuff. It was still very much like, here is the concept we have for raid attacks and all that sort of stuff, right? So I don't think
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
I think it was too weird, but yeah, they've done it before.
Again,
for
it's
sure.
better than saying nothing.
This is true.
Yeah,
Because we're talking about like Jared not being there. It's better than that.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah, that's fair. And then like, yeah, the last one, the crafting stuff, again, very close to my heart.
Yep.
Super excited to see that we're going to get a tech preview. I'm going to hold them to their word. By the end of the year, we will have it, albeit
They've mentioned it a
whatever
few times
tiny
now as
form.
well, actually, I think.
Yeah.
Like, this was not the first
Yeah.
time they mentioned the crafting tech preview, but I mean, I guess it does make that sound a little closer, like that tech preview. But
Yeah,
I imagine
and-
we'll have, like, engineering, I assume, will go through a couple of tech previews before we get to that, which is why I'm like, maybe it's too soon. It might not hit by December or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. It was something that I can't remember who said it now, but like, it very much feels like we've been bottlenecked a little bit, kind of on features and development. We're kind of at this point now where the floodgates are starting to open. It's getting quite exciting as to all the different previews that we're being promised, and how much of that actually comes to light and how much of that causes multitude of problems. Who knows? But yeah, very excited to see that they're clearly starting to make progress on delivering those features that they've been promising for so long. And then the specifics of the crafting, I'm amazed that they haven't changed some of the store pages yet. I'm like majorly concerned for them that they're starting to put out this detail about the fact that we're doing blueprints, not actual items, despite the fact that the store page is all still listed as actual items, which again, implies aggression and implies that they're getting ahead. Yeah, but they need to tell people that that's not how that's going to be long term.
Well, so that's the page does not say that. It says if you get it says that items will not be account bound. Straight up. Sorry. Blueprints will not be. Sorry, blueprints will be account bound, but not physical items. They say that straight up.
Yeah.
They then say if you are to earn something from an event, this is how it works. Blah blah blah. They very, not necessarily sneakily, but like conveniently, I guess, left out pledge items.
Because event items are pledge items. They work exactly the same.
Exactly.
One of them you play to earn, and one of them you pay to earn. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
So, do you think then that when they are selling these packs of armors and weapons with crazy skins on them, that those things will come as both a blueprint and as a physical item that is a weapon?
That's what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so you'll be able to apply your skin elsewhere, but you will get the item as well.
Yeah, you're able to apply your skin to, because the item will come at tier 1, and maybe you can upgrade it, or maybe you find, like, the whole thing is I don't think they want to lock. The whole thing that he's trying to say here is, I'm not locking you to the crafting system where the item that you purchased is the one that you have to upgrade. If you find something better that is the same sniper, you can apply that skin that you love to that better sniper. Like, it's all positive there. It's the question is, like, what happens when you lose that item? Is that item still account bound? The assumption here is absolutely, because they're going with the you paid in real money for it, you ain't losing it mentality here. So
yeah,
for me, it's just is the crafting system an upgrade system, or are crafters crafting base items as well? Yeah. So I don't think we're going to be crafting too many base items, basically. you'll probably just be buying those from NPCs or something, and then it all depends on how that system works. Yeah, or looting. Yep.
Yeah. And then the last thing was like the way that the player market exists at the minute, where people are selling the items that they've pledged. Like, I wonder how the game is going to deal with that, because that's something that is basically propping up the player market at the minute, in a lot of ways, and that they again have another kind of hurdle that they need to jump over in convincing everybody that that's not going to be the way forward. You know, like to kind of shed some light on that would, particularly with the crafting stuff coming, where the blueprints and you're going to be able to generate these things over and over again. Is that just for people who have paid for it, or is that actually for everybody?
They'll probably just say you can't trade those items, but we'll see. And that would make me sad.
Well,
too.
even then, like, presumably, Mike's done an event that I haven't done. Mike's gotten a skin for a P8AR or whatever that I haven't. Mike then upgrades all his blueprints to tier 3, and he's making guns with that skin at tier 3. If he sold that to me, I don't have the skin as a blueprint. Presumably, if I lose that gun, it's gone.
Yeah.
Unless it's got insurance, right? So that would be okay, I guess.
Yeah. It's just when you lose your pledge item, what happens is still the thing that's up in the air. That's all. And I'm not saying whatever they're doing is bad. I'm just saying, they need to make a clear distinction of what's going on. It doesn't have to be now.
Yeah.
Well, it should be now because you have people paying money for shit.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I think that's my concern, is that people are paying for stuff, and what that thing that they are paying for, how that looks in game now is different to how that will look in game in the future. And they know what that change is going to be now by the sound of what they've put out, but they're not updating the page where you press buy to reflect that.
Yeah. Or they know what they're going to test and see if they like.
Yeah, that's a fair comment. So potentially waiting on a final, this is exactly, we're happy that this now works.
Yeah. Let's get out of tier 0 item recovery. Let's get to tier 1. Let's see tier 2, and then let's see crafting, and then we will make our final decision. And that'll be that. And even then, they can kind of finagle from there, and we'll see. But Matt,
we'll just wait on the finished game 25 years from now. Yeah,
exactly. and Matt, we gave you 10 minutes.
Finished.
So that's probably where we'll let you go, man.
Good.
All right, brother.
Yeah, we appreciate the call. Thanks a ton, Matt.
Yes, of course. Thank you so much. And everybody who's waiting in line, I do apologize we didn't get to you guys, but get in earlier and we wouldn't have yapped for so long.
I'm gonna go wake the baby, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's where we'll leave you guys. We do appreciate you guys watching and all that stuff. Yep. And hashtag Team SaltEMike, of course, because I am always right. But yeah, so that's I believe I know what a shard is, and I know what a server is in this case, and we'll just have to see what happens. But we'll have to see, and that's really what it is. I don't think we're going to get any clarification on this until it's closer, but I think it brought up some good conversation, and hopefully it sparks some ideas internally, and they make it better now than it already was, and we'll go from 100%. There, right? Follow us on socials. Check out our Twitch streams, all that stuff. And don't forget, I don't have my phone. I don't know where my phone is. I heard it vibrate, so I'm going to take my wallet instead. I heard it's somewhere around here, but I don't know where it is.
I guess Mike forgot to answer the call, guys.
I did. Thanks for watching, everyone.